Hello and welcome as we continue our journey toward the second Sunday of Easter, April the 11th, 2021. Trying to center myself in the picture here. So today I would like to read for you the Psalm, which is Psalm number 133, and then share some reflections on the Psalm that I've gathered for today and wish to pass along to you. It's actually a very short psalm. So, Psalm 133. How good and how pleasant it is when kindred live together in unity. It is like fine oil upon the head, flowing down upon the beard of Aaron, flowing down upon the collar of his robe. It is like the dew of Hermon, flowing down upon the hills of Zion. For there the Lord has commanded the blessing, life forever. I said it was a short psalm, right? Imagine what life could be like if kindred truly could live together in unity. Maybe you think that already happens. Maybe if we expand our definition of kindred, we might see unity to be a little more challenging. What if kindred in verse 1 were referring to Republicans, Democrats, and Independents? What if kindred in verse 1 were referring to Christians and Muslims? What if kindred in verse 1 were referring to Israelis and Palestinians? What if kindred in verse 1 were referring to all of the different ethnicities, nationalities, religions, genders, sexualities, and on and on and on and on the list goes? When I was a much younger pastor, a mentor of mine was fond of saying that if you put two people in a room together, they will find something to disagree about. If two people have a hard time building unity, then what are the odds of building unity among groups, especially those with a long-standing adversarial history? The primary proclamation of this psalm is that full harmony is possible because the source flows from God. Being humans, especially adversarial groups, unity might be unattainable without God's help. If we believe, as Jesus said, for God all things are possible, then we need to believe that unity is possible when we let God take the lead and we unconditionally follow. Verse 2 says that unity is like fine oil. And the Hebrew word fine carries the idea that it is precious. This oil is something more than the vegetable oil or even the extra virgin olive oil than that one might find in her or his pantry, in the kitchen. The Hebrew word, wow, I'm having a hard time today. The Hebrew word is also the one used in Genesis chapter 1. After each time God created something and saw that it was good. So it does not mean simply, well, that's good enough. It means God saw that it was precious, valuable, costly, treasured, exquisite, priceless. Need I go on? Or does that give you a good idea of what value this psalm places on unity? Even though the oil is priceless, verse 2 tells us that it flows with abundance down the head, across the beard if I had one, across the collar of the robe or shirt, and down, continuing down, all the way down the body. Unity flows from God might be priceless, although God doesn't just dab it out sparingly. God pours it out abundantly, extravagantly, without caring about the cost. To give you a better word picture, it talks about the beard of Aaron. Aaron's beard was said to reach the hem of his robe. So we need to imagine a lot of oil flowing, as the metaphor goes. So the metaphor is a lot of unity flowing down from God. Now, in case the oil metaphor is not sufficient, verse 3 offers a different metaphor. Dew of Mount Hermon flowing down upon the hills of Zion. I'm not sure how knowledgeable you are about the geography of Mount Hermon and Mount Zion. In case you didn't already know, they are about 100 miles apart. Today's driving would take more than an hour, perhaps nearly 90 minutes. So try to imagine, just try to imagine, the amount of dew it would take to flow down from Mount Hermon to reach the hills of Zion, almost 100 miles away. Impossible? Maybe for us. Although impossible for God? Do these metaphors suggest images of a God who has limits? Okay, maybe there's some analytical person right now who's trying to calculate exactly how much oil and dew we're talking about, although the rest of us, let's not go there. Let's stick with the poetic language of the psalmist and realize that she or he is trying to tell us that God is a God of abundance, without limits. Even when it comes to unity among kindred. Okay, so someone else out there is ready to start arguing about the definition of kindred. When Jesus taught that we are to love our neighbors as we love ourselves, someone in the crowd challenged him on the definition of neighbor. So I know there is at least one in every crowd. If God is a God of abundance without limits, then what sense does it make to try to argue with God about limiting God's definition of kindred? Frankly, we really should question what sense it makes to argue with God about anything. This psalm is designed to provide hopefulness, not limits. Problems arise when humans prefer limits, especially between adversarial relationships. Like the one who wanted to limit what Jesus meant by neighbor so he would not feel challenged to love the wrong people. Kindred living in unity sounds great, as long as kindred does not include the wrong people, right, God? This psalm is short, only 3 verses, as it was designed as a hymn or chant that the people would sing in procession to Jerusalem to worship. It speaks of God's abundance from a position of hope. Hope connected to being chosen, anointed with oil, and hope connected to water, which was life-giving in that arid and dry land. And the psalm ends with the ultimate blessing: life forevermore. unity, full harmony, is somehow connected to life and blessing from God. One commentator suggests that this is kind of a circular reality. Kindred living in unity is a means by which the blessing is released, and the blessing being released is a means by which the kindred live in unity. So it's kind of a circular thing that feeds off of each other. So this Sunday, when we sing this psalm, let us remember that we are an Easter people, coming together on this second Sunday of Easter, singing a reminder to all and to ourselves that living in unity has extravagant and abundant benefits beyond limits, beyond our ability to measure. Thank you for joining me again today as we make our way toward the second Sunday of Easter. I hope you're having a great day. Take care and God bless.